that's a good foundation to start off. Prof, I still have some more questions for you, and I think you'd do us well to help us with the answers. We see companies developing ESG policies. We see investors incorporating ESG factors into their investment decisions, regulators including ESG criteria into listing requirements. And in the developed world, we know that ESG does confer competitive advantage. But what do you think should happen in emerging economies like Nigeria and in many African countries? Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much for that question. I think depending on how you look at it, I mentioned the tension between local and global. What is happening is that even the idea of what is ESG is not completely settled in many countries. The EU, for example, has developed a taxonomy for green and sustainability issues. But I think we also need to do something similar in the African context. So think about the energy transition or the use of gas. It's been problematic. So the European Union or European Commission, prior to the Russia-Ukraine war, excluded gas and coal. But what has happened since the war? Now they've come back to reality, and some people have criticized Europe for being hypocritical, and not only Europe, even the global north. So whereas in the global south, we have been threatened that, the point being that the capital markets and financiers are telling us that if we continue investing in gas, that they may withdraw funding us. That for me is bizarre, because our situations are different in many ways. And by no means suggesting that we shouldn't do anything about the environmental impact we create. But the point is, we also need to ensure that we are aligned in such a way that we are meeting our goals, we are meeting our needs. And I'm thinking here carefully that we need, as Africans, as much as we don't like what the global north is doing and the things they're throwing at us, at least we know what we don't want. But what we have not spent a lot of time to do is to articulate what we want. What will be our narrative, our view of sustainability transition from an African perspective? What would it look like? We don't know that. And since if we don't know it, it becomes difficult to finance it, right? So, but we know what we don't want, but we don't know what we want. So I think a starting point for any African organization or those who are interested in Africa is to work with Africans to articulate what this sustainable transition should look like. The AU has
exactly, Prof. Definitely.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Prof. Very interesting insight. Suyo, let me jump